language in from Airbnb, let's just use the big banks, for example. We've now pretty much gone down to maybe one lender that's going to actively work with us on Airbnb versus having everything available. Because if it's rental income and you're just highlighting the fact that this is, really good ROI and rental income there, then yeah, that's no problem. Because if it's a rental income, if it's just rental income, I'm just going to go and get a fair market rent report from an appraiser, from a lender, and call it a day. But now if I have that language with the Airbnb, I now have to make a whole business case to try to explain to the lender, well, we're not going to do Airbnb. We're going to just stick to, traditional renting, and we're not going to, but then at the same time, those numbers are not necessarily going to be helpful because they're going to say, okay, hey, well, was that specifically because it was Airbnb? It just doesn't help. And if we don't need to, like, in my opinion, the same sort of buyer and the same sort of attraction can be attracted by just highlighting the rental income and leaving out the Airbnb. And that's a conversation you can have amongst realtors.
Good stuff. I love it, Nicole. These are the types of conversations that you should be having with Nicole, and just getting clarity around your listings and supporting your clients. And Nicole, I got the info on the screen, but remind us again how people can get a hold of you.
Just give me a call. Honestly, I always say that the easiest thing to do is give me a call, shoot me a text. Emails are great as well too. I am sometimes slower with them. So if you need me, especially if it's a quick question, just call me or text me.
Love it, Nicole. Thank you so much. I always
Anytime.
get so insightful. These conversations are so insightful, especially when you and I start, asking each other questions and having that
I know. That's why I'm
conversation.
always like, oh, okay, let me just leave a little bit more time in case we need to do that. So
All good, my friend. Thanks for jumping on with us this morning
anytime.
or this
Thanks, guys.
afternoon. Good stuff. Good stuff. Moving along, my friends. We're going to invite Dylan to come back on stage with us, and or invite him to come on stage for the first time, I should say. Dylan has been doing something pretty cool and talking with our agents, and you can see it on screen here. Dylan, I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what's going on with this, but I love when we get to highlight our agents.
All right. Well, first, shout out to Nicole. If you aren't in relationship with Nicole yet, I highly recommend that you do it. Just 2 Sundays ago, we were down in Florida negotiating a deal. We're on vacation, so of course a deal happens. And I'm a little worried about appraisal, what the bank's going to say. So I quickly message Nicole. It's a Sunday night. I say, do you mind just checking out on your end what appraisal might come back at for this property? She says, yeah, can you give me a moment? I said, yes, please don't interrupt your dinner. She's like, oh, good, thank you. Thank you. Like, I'll finish dinner first. She got back to me within an hour and a half with the full appraisal report on what she would see on her end. And I felt way more comfortable going forward with the offer that we had in hand. And my guys bought the house. So it all worked out great. But I have a great relationship with Nicole that I can do that. So again, get into relationship with Nicole. She's an amazing resource. Yeah, that's big message there. So last month, we talked a lot about story brand and getting out there and telling our story so that we can communicate better with our clients and also stand out in that way. So what I've started doing is interviewing agents so that we can start sharing your story a little bit. I've met with 3 so far. Kelly's one of them, Nuno's one of the other ones, and we've had great conversations. It's very chill, very easy. I guide you through the whole thing. And at the end of the day, you got video content that you can share on your socials as well on the office page, so you get a little bit of extra reach. And what we know from experience is it's one of those things that nobody takes the time to do on their own. I'm not going to say nobody, but it's like 3% of the people that will really do it on their own. So what I've offered to do is kind of help you do it. Not only do you not need to come up with anything, I'm there to kind of ask you the questions and guide the conversation. We've got the office is paying for editors to cut up the video for us. So we're really taking all the steps, removing all the resistance so that you guys can have that frontward facing stuff. And you can use it in any way that you want, or you can just leave it there on the office page, but at least your name is getting out there. One of the big things that we heard from everybody coming back from family reunion is that we need that online presence. AI is going to be scraping everything. We know that Gemini through Google is now recommending real estate agents based on that stuff. We need your names to be out there more so we don't get left behind. This is just one of the ways that we can do that, and we're going to remove all the resistance for you. You just got to show up. We hang out downstairs in the lounge for about a half hour, talk, and your job is done. We take care of the rest. I'm only doing this for 16 agents, so please reach out to me sooner than later, because once we hit the 16, we'll see how it goes and we'll decide from there if we keep going. But so far it's been amazing. Like Kelly and I had a fantastic conversation. Kelly, you got a little shyness, like that's something you've shared before, and Kelly did absolutely amazing. This is something that anybody can do. So I highly encourage you to reach out to me and we'll set it up.
I think this is absolutely golden. Take Dylan's offer and run with it, do it. And one of the cool things too, if is you don't have a YouTube channel, create one for your business and get these videos onto it. Because as Dylan said, this is where AI is going to be scraping, and Gemini, Google owns YouTube and it's going to go there first.
Absolutely. So your Google business profile, all of that, you can connect all of it so that these clips are coming up. And then again, you're the professional in that space. It just gives you more credibility.
That's exactly it. Dylan, good for you for stepping up and doing this. And you're a great host at this. And I know you make people feel comfortable, and I'm excited to see what these come out and look like. And you, everyone knows I love a good video, and I'm telling you, it will help you support and build your sphere of influence. The coolest thing about the social media piece and having online videos is it's a weird phenomenon where people will watch them, and sometimes you don't know they're watching them, and then you'll meet them at a workshop or an event, a community event, wherever that happens to be, the grocery store. It doesn't matter. Like, Dylan, how you doing? And you'll know of each other and so forth. Yeah, they're so invested in you, and they know so much more about you because they've been following along in your videos or your social media, and you've got to play catch up a little bit. But I think that's a good problem.
Yeah. Jen and I years ago did a real estate morning show, just the two of
Yes.
us in our kitchen, and we just talked about what was in the news headlines and what we were seeing in the market. And it got okay traction. It wasn't huge or anything like that. But all of a sudden, everywhere we went, our friends were saying, "Hey, we've been watching your show. We see you all the time. We see you in the feed." And then people that we don't even talk to, like even after we stopped doing the show, people would still be like, "Are you guys still doing that show? Like, I love that morning show." So again, it does work for you when you're already done doing your portion of the work, and it just has that spread. So, and I would say, don't get discouraged if you're doing this outside of anything that we do together. Don't get discouraged if you're not getting the engagement that you hope for. People are still seeing it in their feed. I know a ton about people on my social media, and I don't give them likes. I don't send them messages. And maybe I should, because I actually do enjoy their content, but I'm just so used to scrolling. But I see them all the time, and they're not getting the engagement from me. So I bet you there's a lot of people that are seeing you, seeing your content, that are top of mind, but they're just not getting that engagement yet. And that's okay, because you're still getting the views.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip the slide here, and it's kind of along the same conversation, Dylan. Of course, the millionaire real estate agent, and I should have his picture on here. And we all know Gary Vaynerchuk was at family reunion. He also sat down with Jason Abrams in live in person here to be on the podcast. And Gary Vaynerchuk will tell us that you don't need to have an audience of 1,000, 10,000, 100, a million or subscribers, because the platforms do all the heavy lifting for you now. Meaning the TikToks of the world, YouTube, Insta, they'll put your video or your feed in front of many, many people, even though they're not a subscriber. So just kind of keep that in mind. As Dylan just said, you might not be getting that traction that you thought, or I don't have any subscribers, or it's very small. The algorithm does it for us in a sense, right? All right.
Gary, just on that for a moment. I'm not a big social media guy, but I just randomly a couple weeks ago, there was so much rain coming down, and there was literally like water coming down my property line. So I felt compelled to like take a video of it and just remind people, like, check your downspouts. And I usually get maybe 800, 900, 1,100 views on something, and a lot of times less than that. This one hit 15, 16,000 views, and 70% of it was non-followers. So again, like the reach is there. And like, I couldn't have told you that that was going to do well. But if you just keep doing stuff, you'll get more and more of that reach. It's more about the consistency. And this is coming from a guy that is not using social media well enough now, but it's possible that one of those just takes off.
Love it. I love it. Okay, let's move into our AI conversation. And at the last minute, I asked Dylan if he would just stay on screen with me, so so we can kind of get his insight as well, and so you're not just listening to me for the next little bit. That's really truthfully what it is. AI and real estate, what nobody is telling you, I think, Dylan, as a realtor, we've all gone to, okay, I got a listing. I'm going to take that listing. You go into Gemini, Claude, or what have you, ChatGPT, write this listing description for me. That's probably 99% of where realtors are using AI. And is that bad? Is that good? No, my friends, it's okay. It's good. And what we're going to be talking to you today about is how else can we use it? What are those other things that perhaps we haven't thought of, or we haven't quite sure how to do it? So I'm going to go through with Dylan here, really 10 ways that we can use it, and then we call them prompts if you're not familiar with AI. And a prompt is really just an instruction to the chat program. Create this, or I need this, or something, and you'll be able to download those 10 prompts. So don't worry about writing something down and so forth. Just kind of sit with us for the next few minutes, and you'll be able to download those 10 prompts of what that is. But here's what we're going to talk about. And first, we should kind of talk about killing the myth, Dylan. Will AI replace the real estate agent? And quite frankly, no. We've all heard it before. AI is only going to enhance the service that we can provide. It's how we choose to enhance it, right, Dylan?
Yeah, absolutely. There's too much of an emotional roller coaster, too many different physical aspects that you need to be there for. The physical realtor that's there to consult and take care of people will always be there. It's just going to be how much more effective can you be while you're there. And in terms of client acquisition, I think there's going to be a big portion as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Gary, we got one more here.
Hang on. Hi, Gary.
Jen, I love it. That's
Jump in. The only reason I'm doing this is because that actually came up with Gary V in Family Reunion, that concept of AI replacing the realtor. And he gave such a great answer to it. He said, there's no way that it's possible for AI to replace a realtor because AI cannot get into the nuances of every single community and every single property. The details that we know because we live in the community, the schools, the pocket lines, where the good side of the street is, the bad side of the street, what that one property line or that neighbor or that location means to the value of your property emotionally or otherwise. AI has no way to gather that data because it's innately learned by realtors being in that space consistently. And so even if they can give a reasonable CMA, write an offer, do all those things, they can't sit down with a client and say, this is the better option for you because of X, X, and X. And I know that because I work and live in this community, and I can guarantee you that information is accurate. And so because of that, his whole point was that it's a tool we can use to leverage, but it's never going to be a tool that replaces us because of that innate information that we've gathered over years of being in this industry and doing what we do. So I just wanted to throw that in. I know I was supposed to talk, but it was a pretty good answer. So,
and just like that, she's gone. I love it. Well, that's just it. Is AI is only as smart as the information that it has. What AI doesn't have is that emotional aspect of that connection to your client, and as Jen and Dylan were talking about here, and that's definitely it. This really ties into what AI cannot do. Well, we just heard what it cannot do. Forget my notes. We just heard what it cannot do, right? That's the big piece. Is how all of that ties into your business. You can read it right here on screen. It can analyze the data and put together some really cool stats for you, and it does it like this, right? And as fast as you want it to, it'll work. But it will not get into a relationship with your client.
Yep.
That's the bottom end. So with all that said, let's get into, okay, what will it do? What can we do? We know AI never sleeps. There's never a bad day if you're using it as an assistant or a confidant or a colleague, right? It's always upbeat, if you will. You don't have to take and give it an extra coffee because it's a little sluggish one morning, all of that kind of stuff. So here's 10 ways that we can use AI into our business. And I like this one, Dylan, predicting our client moves. Your next listing, you can see here, might already be in your database. So take some information from your database is what this is, and put it into AI. Here's 10 10 of my buyer profiles that I have right now, someone said this, someone said that, and it can go in and analyze this and give you some ideas and maybe some conversations to have to move people from A to B, that type of thing. And I've got the prompt. And remember, I've got all the prompts for every single one of these things that we're going to talk about. And I like this too, because perhaps, Dylan, as it's kind of sometimes that business coach on your shoulder that is pointing out blind spots or things that you haven't seen yet, right?
Yeah, it's also a great reminder of things that you know to do, but maybe aren't currently doing. AI will reiterate those to you, like, you should be doing this, this, and this. You're like, I knew that, but I didn't do that last time. So again, it is like having a coach in that sense, where it will remind you sometimes the stuff that you know to do, but haven't been doing.
Well, and the other thing too is it can start, if you had 100 clients that you put into something like this with the prompt that we'll share with you later, is it'll itemize and it can categorize who's likely to make a move first, because you might be spending your time on the wrong buyer persona or seller persona, right? So that's the neat thing about it too. You mentioned something there too, Dylan. It'll remind us of things to do that perhaps we weren't doing. It's also a great tool to give it tasks or things to do that we don't like doing. Now, it can't go door knocking.
Yeah.
It can't do that type of thing for us. So, Vincent, your job is safe there, Vincent Bongard. But it can do some of those other mundane tasks, perhaps.
Well, even just cleaning up your database, right? So that you've got more of that information there, so that you're unifying it across platforms. My MailChimp and my Command haven't always been synced, so there are some crossovers and gaps, right? I can download both of those client lists, put it into AI, tell me which ones are missing, which ones need to be brought over, and go from there.
I did something perhaps a little bit more advanced, but I just want to share this so people have an understanding of what it can do, the potential of it. And there's a lot of things that it can do. Similarly, in my database, it's 14, 15 years old now, and I have hundreds of tags on my clients. And quite frankly, they were useless. I'm not going to lie to you. They were so bad. I had AI go in, analyze them, and recategorize them and retag them to about 6 or 7 different tags.
Beautiful.
I went and had a coffee and called some clients while it did that. That's the type of stuff we're talking about. Again, that's a little bit more advanced, but I just want to share that's the type of thing it can do. Okay, moving on. Excuse me. Referral network activator. I like this. Unlock new opportunities with AI. This allows us to identify people we've worked with in the past and who we should be calling perhaps to ask for a referral because we haven't done it. And if you've been in the business for a short time, well, you can probably think of those 5, 6, 10, 15 names. But if you've been in the business for such a long time, it'll go in and ask and validate that, as well as we can even tell it to create a personalized message to go to that person. So again, it's getting into your database and understanding who to talk to and ask for business, and really who to check in with. Those are the types of things that we're talking about here. If we're not feeding it some information, some good information, we're going to get terrible information. We start feeding it great information, we're going to get some great answers, right?
Another reason why it won't replace us, because it still takes the human to prompt it, right? And so people are only so good at that, and they still don't know what they don't know. They don't have the experience of a realtor. So even in their prompting, they will be off on what it is that they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan, I like this one, and I know it'll never replace that human element. However, this one is one of my favorites, and I use this a lot. AI as your negotiation partner. So we should all have a human script partner. However, how often are we driving in the car and maybe we're just listening to music or whatever you're doing, and you've you're done on the phone, you're not talking to anybody? I'll often bring up my chat GPT on my phone. I said, okay, you are the agent of this home, and you need to act as a very tough negotiator, and I'm going to try and reduce the price for my buyer. And you can set things up like that, or different scenarios of that, and you can make it very tough. Whatever that buyer or seller's agent is like, you can make it just like that, and just go to town on it, and it'll teach you, and the repetition of how to talk and how to use your negotiation skills. Remember, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So we need to keep practicing things like this, right?
And you got to remember that all these AI are trained on some of the best teachers out there. Like all of Chris Voss's materials are in AI. So if you want to say just, hey, help me script practice as if you were Chris Voss, teach me some tie downs, teach me some mirroring, and it'll do that with you in the car. And Gary, as you talk about, it being your partner in the car, what I've done before, if I'm going to an area that I'm not as familiar with, I save my listings as a PDF. I throw it into chat, and I just have that voice talk on my way to the list, on the way to the showings. And I say, tell me about the neighborhoods. What are some like key area landmarks that people like? Are there shopping centers nearby? And it's searching Google Maps, it's searching Yelp reviews. Like it's doing all that stuff that would take us hours to do, and it's doing it in seconds. And I can just ask it questions and it tells me. Even when I was showing condos, I asked, okay, what year was the building built? How many units are in it? Do you know how many are rentals? And there's websites that have all that information out there, and AI just scrapes it and then gives it back to you. And again, previously that type of research would take me hours. Now I can do it on my way to a showing in the car.
I like that one. I like that. You mentioned Chris Voss. Here's the book. If you don't have the book, go get the book. Never split the difference. Get the audio book and the physical book. I do have a PDF of it that, as you said.
His masterclass is really good too. If you want to just subscribe for a month, watch that masterclass is phenomenal. Then you get to see the interaction visually as well.
Yeah. And this is one of those life books. It's not just for real estate or business or negotiations. It's in everyday conversations. It's a great book and a great tool for to put in your AI partner, as we'll call it. I like this one too. Again, this one, some of these might be some more advanced than others. Automated life events, be the first to respond. Basically what we're saying here is have AI monitor your social feeds, and it can do that. Hey, Dylan and Jen just celebrated their birth of a new child. Congratulations, by the way. Things like that. Yeah. A job change, because we can't stay on our phones 24 hours a day and know this type of information, just as Dylan shared about going into a newer community and having AI tell him all about it. It can do something similar, right? And you can even get as advanced as, and this is a very advanced piece, is, Dylan and Jen just had a new baby. Gary, do you want me to send them a personalized message to congratulate them? Or it prompts you, hey, Gary, you should send them a personalized message. And that's probably where most of us will start. But this is another great way to use AI that we know that your colleague around the corner is not doing. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like this one too, Dylan. And I will use this to fine tune some of my listing presentation, personalized presentations or listing presentations.
Yep.
And you shared with me a really cool thing that you did with Claude, and Claude's just another version of, not a version, it's another company like ChatGPT, perhaps a little bit more advanced in
does
some
great
of the
visuals, I would say.
Yeah, amazing visuals.
Yeah. So on that note, I've built maybe 3 slide decks for listing consults, for CMAs and stuff like that using Claude, and it does it so fast, so efficiently. I still prompt it with all my information that I'm getting from Realm, everything that I know. I can pull specific listings, put it in there, and just tell it what I'm looking for, and it will build it out. And I would say, like the one that I just sent Gary was, I had clients reach out last night. They moved out of the country. I helped them rent out their house. Their tenants have emailed them and said, hey, rent prices are really dropping in Ontario. Can we renegotiate for $900 less a month? So I did some quick research. I put it into Claude. I built them a graph to show what rent numbers have actually been doing, not only just in their neighborhood, but as well in Markham as a whole, compared it to 4 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, and showed them that their value was still holding reasonably strong, but the 3-bedroom units had come down quite a bit. So we've got more clarity on likely what these tenants are looking at. Are they looking more to downsize? I did all this in 20 minutes. Like normally that would have taken me an entire evening of pulling listings, researching, And I even then at the end of that, I wouldn't have had the visual to send them. It would just be me typing out a super long email. Instead, my email was like, here's one batch of listings, here's another batch of listings, and when I think about it, and then here's the presentation that has all the info on it. And I got raving reviews back. So again, it's how you can show up for your clients more. Like my level of service and professionalism has just exponentially grown, because before I wouldn't have been able to give them all of that. We maybe would have hopped on a phone call, or I would have had a long-winded email that they would have had to read. This was very visual and really supported them in terms of what they were looking for. And they immediately wrote back and were like, Dylan, we didn't expect you to do all of this. Thank you so, so much. And again, it took me a half hour. And I'm still learning it too. I'm not an expert user. It may sound like I am really not. I am just fumbling my way through it like everybody else. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like I've tried this for maybe a month now, specifically with Claude and with those visuals, and it's just getting easier and easier every time.
I think that's golden. I'm going to skip one slide, then come back. So just remind me here, because it ties into what you were just talking about, neighborhood reports. I've done this too many times. I've taken that report from Realm or the Market Watch report, that big long thing that Trev puts out every month that is pages and pages long. You can dump it into any one of those chat programs, but especially like Claude. What are the trends happening in Newmarket? Provide me with 3 talking points that I can put in a Facebook post, or 3 talking points that I have with have in a conversation with my client tonight as we look at selling their home.
Yeah,
it eliminates a lot of the noise, and I love where Dylan went with it. Claude's very visual, and if everyone knows me, I'm very visual. That's how I learn, and it is a great way to do to create instant information, or infographics is the word I'm looking for.
For anyone in the room, if you want to get a quick look at it before you leave today, I'm happy to open it up on my laptop just so you get a sense of what it looks like. And again, very simple. I know Gary's talking about doing an AI training. Matthew Gizzy is in our office, is phenomenal with this. He's the one that got me onto Claude. There's a lot of support here to help you with that kind of stuff. But my biggest thing is just like getting started in real estate. You just got to go and do. Don't be afraid to have it not work out the first couple times. You have to try and immerse yourself and just keep going. And Gary, just on this AI neighborhoods reports, I will say that Habistat, when you put in first, it has so many different filters that you can apply. Like I was able to apply specifically my community, go right to detached single family 3 bedrooms, detached single family 4 bedrooms. And then when I click on the historical option, it gives me all the data in a spreadsheet that I just pop into Claude. And then from there, you could do whatever you want with it. Like I knew exactly what I needed, but if I wanted to create a whole economic report or really market update, I could have done that as well. I could have talked about trends. I could have talked about what was happening, but it's just really easy now to get the information. Whereas, 8 years ago, it was really hard and tedious to get the information. And then you had to be able to create something visual, which was something I personally was never great at. I always tried at it, but it either took me a lot of time or it didn't look as good as a professional would have done it.
Yeah, well said, well said. And we're not trying to make this so overwhelming and things like that. Just choose one of these to start working with. I like this too, Dylan, custom buyer personas. Go put in, if you've been in the business for a while, go put in who you've been working with over the last several years, and you'll start to see a trend, and Chat or Claude or Gemini, whatever you're using, will be able to say your type of client or your type of avatar you work with the most is this type of persona. And typically we know like attracts like, so it should be someone typically like you, but it just kind of helps you see that's your favorite avatar. Those are the people I want to work with. And you can really then start to identify, okay, if that's build on this, if that's the person I love working with, let's create a marketing campaign and things I need to do over the next 90 days, whether that's phone calls, texts, messages, personalized messages, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you could tell it to apply Donald Miller's story brand formula. Say, this is my ideal client. Help me apply this formula of storytelling to my next lead capture page for a listing I have in X area, and it'll do it. And it prompts you too. You can just say, ask me the questions that you need to be able to complete this task. Like I did this the other day, and it ran through Donald Miller's thing and it asked me every question along the way. And I answered. And if I didn't answer one, it'd say, but what about this? And then I would give it an answer. I would say I didn't know. And then it put out the result for me. Right. And then you can tweak it. But that's something that I would have had to pay. Like, I signed up to Donald Miller's thing last month. $500 was the discount to one of his trainings that I wanted to go to. Like, that's the discounted price. So now I get it all through AI for free, and I can work forward. Like, once I decide if I like it, maybe we'll do some Donald Miller training. But at the time, I was like, oh, I'll use AI for now.
Jen's in the background saying, yeah, use AI.
Yeah.
Wait, and
no, she likes to go to those things.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Here's my advice on using AI from that perspective. On, you want to feed it information, but you don't want to just blurb out a whole thing and then typically most AI models, what it'll do is it'll ask you 15 questions at the same time. Mm-hmm. And just as Dylan did here, one of my things to suggest to you, my friends, today is, I'm going on a listing presentation. I need to know this. Ask me one question at a time about it. Or whatever that phrase is. Ask me one question at a time. And it'll help and build whatever that answer that you're looking for in a much easier case. Okay, let's move on. And this is similar to the negotiation piece. Simulate seller conversations. How many times have we just been like freaked out in a sense, or what have you, over a phone call that we have to have with one of our buyers or sellers because maybe we're having a tough conversation with our seller about a price reduction or what have you. So it can be that person that where you can practice that phone call. I always remember I have a sheet that I've shared over the years, and it's this. I was sitting in a negotiations class similar to Never Split the Difference, and one of the things it said is rehearse, practice, rehearse, practice, rehearse. Know what you're going to say, write down what you're going to say, so it's just not off all the top of your head, because sometimes we're not smart enough to think off the top of our heads, right?
Yeah. In the moment.
In the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
I could say case in point, but anyways. Excellent. Okay, where are we? We've kind of talked about this one. Upload the market reports. You're going to be amazed at what you get out of it when you upload any market report, economic report. You know, the Toronto Real Estate Board just put out a month ago, almost now, their full 80-page market report and outlook for 2026. Go put that in there, because once you do it, it has that information.
Yeah.
And any sort of report. Here's another one, Dylan. I just kind of thought of this too, and I've done this in the past. I'm sure you have. Is taking a home inspection report,
absolutely,
and putting it in there, because we know those things are 60 pages long of PDF and pictures. Hey, what does my client need to know? Or what should we be aware of? Here, give me the top 10 things and highlight anything that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
All of that type of stuff. Any type of report you get that you want clarity on, throw it in.
Yeah. Status certificates as well. Great one to use for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. I think this is all pretty self-explanatory. Be a source of information to your clients. And Dylan's proved that he doesn't have to have every single school zone and everything else, and the local parks and the local places of worship and all this kind of stuff, because obviously Google has all that, but so does AI, and use AI to break down those neighborhoods and things. And we basically talked about that a few moments ago. Good stuff. Okay, my friends, here's what I know. Is realtors that are willing to be the early adopters. I've kind of sat on my soapbox, or stood on my soapbox, about Realm and being an early adopter, and talking to business owners that you would feel, yeah, that's a successful business owner, that's a successful realtor. Here's what I know about them, Dylan, is they're willing to be an early adopter of something.
Yep.
They're okay making mistakes along the way. And I've been I'm not a professional at AI, but I love using it. I use it in my business every day. I basically used it in fact, a couple of days after it came out 3 years ago now. And it's evolving so fast that it is truly helping our businesses if we understand how to allow it to at this moment.
Mhm.
So my advice to you is, and I know some of you might say, well, I'm not using it or I don't use it. You use it every day without even realizing it. Every time you go into Google and you do a Google search, you know what the first response is?
Yeah. Say
Gemini.
hi. Yeah.
It's at the very top. And more people are reading the Gemini response now than actually going through and seeing the top Google responses, because it has Gemini response, then it has the sponsored links, and then the top
Yep.
CEO connections there. Okay, last slide here, Dylan. Go ahead. You can download the prompts right here. You use one, just use one, and get access to it. All those 10 prompts are in there. It will definitely help your business. Or don't use those 10 prompts. Just start using AI some shape or form. What I wanted to share with you is there's more to it than writing an email. Here, rewrite this email for me. Rewrite this Facebook post for me. There's more to it than writing a property description. There's more to it than how do I respond to this agent. There's so many creative ways to use it. And these 10 are just the tip of the iceberg, which is really, really cool. It is definitely creating new business opportunities. It's going to create opportunities within your business should you want to jump into it. That's all I got to say. Dylan, you want to wrap that part up?
No, I think just go out and try it. Like it's like every major jump that's happened, it's not going anywhere. AI is going to be a big thing, just like the internet was a big thing, and we still did transactions. We just did them differently, right? And so we just want to make sure that we're at the forefront of it, so that we're prepared for whatever comes next. And it is truly here to enhance your business. Like I feel way better using AI now, and using it with confidence as opposed to it being a thing that I'm afraid of, right? Even Gary, you talk about not adapting to Realm early enough, or I remember when Stratus first came out versus whatever it was before. I don't even remember now. And it was just like, oh, I've got to learn this thing. And agents, we'd put it off. And then all of a sudden, it's the only option, and you're behind because you didn't take the time to learn it at the beginning. At one point, you will just be behind if you don't jump in on it. So no better time. I downloaded the prompts myself. Thank you, Gary. And for those of you that want to see the stuff that I made, I'll show it to you today. And really just start. It's just like anything. It's like reading, 10 pages of a book a day. Spend 10 minutes, spend 30 minutes a day just checking out AI, see what it can do for you, get more comfortable. And then before you know it, you're going to be a pro.
We should mention too, Dylan, Claude built this entire presentation and all the graphics.
There you go.
Of course, I went back into it and fine-tuned it and put my voice on it, right? Yep. You always want to put your own personalized voice on it, but that's the power of it. And this is such a great opportunity to be still an early adopter of it. And I can tell you, both Dylan and I, over the last 3 years, since we've been using it, we are way better at using it now than we were 3 years ago. So dive into it, my friends. Dive into it. Dylan, while you're still on camera, remind us what's going on with the weekly or the monthly real estate market updates you do with Matt, and how you can leverage that with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So we break down every municipality and a lot of like different regions. We've got great graphs on there so you visually see what's been changing, what's been happening. You get to hear us talk about it. We usually talk for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours that week prior to going on the show, as we get all of our information ready and we talk about what we're seeing in the market, what we think is going to happen. We post it every month on the KW Realty Center's public Facebook page, not the private group, but the public one. So check it out there. And I think this should take you right to our YouTube channel where we post additional videos as well. So, encourage you to check it out.
Excellent. Good stuff, my friend. We'll invite Jen to come on camera with us to help us with the upcoming events. And I know, Jen, you and the team have been working pretty hard on what Red Day is going to look like this year. Remind us what Red Day is and how it impacts our community.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been working super hard. Our ALC has been on it. They've already got it organized. Red Day is essentially a day where we go back out into the community. Keller Williams worldwide shuts down, and offices across the entire world go back out and the agents don't work for that day. The whole point is to give that time back to the community that supports us. And so we usually work across the board, people do tons of different things, but it's usually something more local. There's a lot of food bank support. There's a lot of shelters, women's shelters, stuff with children, stuff with local charities, walkathons, cleanups, all kinds of things. And it's just really cool to know that as an entire community of KW, like everyone is out that day in their red shirts, giving back to their community, making a difference, and just a way to say thank you. So this year, Red Day is on May 14th, which is the second Thursday in May. It's always the same second Thursday in May. And we have two activities happening at the same time. We are doing a shredding event again, just like we did last year to support the Life Center. They are going to be bringing a truck into the back area of the office compound here in the morning. You're going to get marketing built out for you that you can distribute to your entire database. So what we encourage the agents to do here is to leverage the marketing we're giving you, send out the emails, make the phone calls, post the social media posts, and get people registered to come and bring their box of shredding to the office, or you organize a day where you go and pick it up and you shred it for them. It's $25 a box to get everything shredded. They can also donate old hard drives if they have old hard drives they'd like to get rid of, again for $25. Great reason to have a reach out to your database, great reason to be able to support your clients and give them a value offer. And then they bring it here, they get it shredded, and in the back area, we're going to have a bake sale and a book sale happening at the same time. So we're going to have baked goods there. We're going to have tons of great books that people can bring in to sell. So if you have to clear out your bookshelves a little bit, feel free to do that. Also a reason you can reach out to the people in your database to say, hey, do you have any old books you want to get rid of? We're doing this book sale at this event. You should come by. And all of the funds raised from the book sale and the bake sale will actually go to the Megan, I'm going to have you remind me right now. Why am I blanking on it? The Guide Dog Society of Canada. Thank you. I didn't know what it was. And the reason we've selected the Guide Dog Society of Canada is actually because Nathan Kapp and his wife they utilize that program. Nathan's wife has a guide dog and has had one for years. And I didn't know this until recently. Guide dogs cost somewhere between like $15,000 and $20,000 to $30,000 for one dog. So for a lot of families, that's a very difficult.
Lions Foundation of Canada.
The Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. Thank you, Nathan. Yes, and it's a very expensive thing, and there's a lot of people in need. And guide dogs treat so many different challenges that people face. It's not just visual impairment, but anxiety and stress and depression and all sorts of things. And so the more we can do to give back and support Nathan and support his family, and then support also a wonderful cause that impacts our community every single day, we're going to do that. So we'll be partnering up for both charities. We'll be hosting it all here in the back. We will need people here on the day of to help run the bake sale, run the book sale, help with the shredding, but also please leverage it to your databases, get in touch with them, create value for them, go and pick up the stuff, get face-to-face engagement, bring it down to us, and then let's just have a great day. After the session is over, we will, of course, have food and drinks and a social component as well to hang out after and just celebrate the day together.
Love it, Jen. And the motto of that day, I don't have it on here, but I should, is give where you live. And then this is such a great giving up your time and monetary value, but I think giving up your time as well, and creating awareness for this. And I know Nathan and his family will be forever grateful for us for doing this and keeping that going. So well done, my friends. Well done. Moving forward, Jen, we've got some pretty cool events coming up, and there should be a slide and a promo for each one of these, but we have them all on three. Start with our spring mastermind here.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening over the next couple of weeks and into April with Keller Williams International as well as in our brokerage. The first thing is next Tuesday, the 31st, we have the Top Agent Spring Masterminds. That's being hosted by Keller Williams Canada. It's going to be a panel of top agents across KW Canada. It's going to be hosted by Mike McDougall. Barbara Bess is on the panel. There's a bunch of other great people. It's going to be in Brampton. It is a whole day event. If you do want to register, there's a QR code on the screen. We've also been putting it in the chats, and it's on our social media. Click on the QR code and just sign yourself up. It should be an awesome day. Lunch is provided as well. And if you have anybody else that you think might benefit from coming, make sure you invite them also. And then on April 14th, we have our KW commercial panels. So for those of you that are interested in commercial, want to learn more about commercial, or are a KW commercial agent, this is for you. It is a live webinar. It is virtual, and it is going to be top KW Canada commercial agents talking about the commercial industry, talking about their businesses, what they're seeing. There's going to be some networking opportunity. It's going to be a really great event as well as KW Commercial continues to grow. And then on April 23rd in the Mississauga Convention Center, we have our third Thrive and Drive. It's going to be hosted by Cody Gibson, who's the head of KW Maps, also a proficient and well-respected realtor with a large team and a leader at Keller Williams internationally. And sorry, that's the one that Mike McDougall is hosting. And then you've got the panels. The Spring Mastermind is a different event, also panel-based. All three are going to be amazing events. All three are totally worth attending. The virtual one, the commercial one is virtual, just to clarify that so that you know it is online. If you want to hop on, you can. And if you go to Eventbrite or you go to 3Common and search for the events, you'll find all the registration information. We will be posting all of this across our social media for the next couple of weeks as well.
Excellent. And to highlight and to celebrate our agents, Jen.
Yeah, we have our annual KWRC Awards Gala. It is being held on April 9th. It is from 7 to 10. It is a cocktail event. Eat dinner before. There will be food, hors d'oeuvres, food stations. We have live music. We're going to be celebrating all of our award winners. It is open to the whole brokerage. You do not have to be receiving an award to attend the event. It is also free to all of our agents. If you are bringing a guest, it's $25. We're going to have a really good night. We're going to have lots of music. We're going to have some good food, some drinks, and we're just going to celebrate. 2025 was a hard year, and yet we had some exceptional wins as well. And we've had a lot of agents have really great years, and we want to acknowledge and celebrate that and just have it be good. So if you haven't RSVP'd yet, please reach out to Stephanie or to myself or front desk and let them know if you are planning to attend. We do have to have the numbers to the venue by Monday, so I have to give you a bit of a deadline on this. We do need to know by Friday if you are planning to attend and if you are bringing guests, so please let us know. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be at Event Market, which is a really cool venue as well, and there's great places around to grab dinner beforehand if you want to.
Excellent, my friends. Thanks for visiting with us this afternoon, and do one of the many things we talked about, and maybe most importantly, get connected with Nicole and get your clients connected with Nicole, because that is such a great resource. Use the AI and those prompts to build your business. With all that said and done, talk to your clients. Make sure you are connecting with your clients. Jen, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and make it a great day, my friends. Bye for now.
Bye.